you mentioned about Lily May. Yeah, we're so proud, and we know each other for nearly 20 years. I used to teach her daughter when her daughter was very small, but she, as a parent at that time, she's really special and outstanding. Not like all the other Asian parents just standing there and sending their kids there. She's always coming to help. She's always there, ready to help. So I paid attention and noticed her from then. She never changed. 20 years, she's always young and beautiful. Yes, so next the question will be for our Mayor Lily May and also the front runner for California State Senator. The question is, what Asian culture traits can you contribute to the United States to make our country even greater? And you will start with, what does "we are all Americans" mean to you? Thank you.
Sure. So good afternoon. 大家好，我是佛利蒙市长高旭佳. So good afternoon. I'm Mayor Lily May from the city of Fremont. And actually, I think what we talk about, what are we as Americans? So I was born in Chicago, and I grew up in Philadelphia, which is the city of brotherly love and sisterly love. And so I feel very fortunate. I feel that what we can do as Americans and as Chinese Americans for myself is not just identity politics, but when I just came from San Francisco, and I apologize for running late, I was just celebrating a festival with the Indian culture up there. And I think that's what we can bring, is that when I look behind me, we look at the bridge. And when I was growing up and I visited Taiwan, people would say, oh, she's just American. Or when I was growing up, they asked me, where are you from? But I think what you have the opportunity in this community is to bring the strengths and the values that are shared between one another. There are so many different ways that we can build our communities. We talked about education, we talked about jobs, and we talked about how we can bring people together, family values, or bringing people together to celebrate the cultures and richnesses. And one of the things that from the Asian culture we can do is to bring strength and unity and not divide us. My mom would tell me when I was little, it's very important who you pick as friends. It's so much easier if someone's on the top of the table for someone to pull you down than you to pull someone up. So it's important for us to work with one another. And it means that where we have opportunities, whether it's here in our own communities through ethnic and faith-based leaders or through committees that I serve on, along with Shang Tao and so many other people through League of California Cities on housing, on transportation, we recognize that when we work on projects together and we get the buy-in of the community, we are more capable of delivering success, because it's not one situation where we feel that one group is more important than one another. It's how we can together achieve those accomplishments. And so I know that Diana was talking about my children, and I'm very blessed. I have 2 MIFs made in Fremont, and they are now 25 and 21. But as a parent, that's one of the things that I thought was really important. It is hard. When I was growing up, I grew up at the end of the Vietnam War era, and so I've been stuffed in lockers. I've had many things directly because people were frustrated with the Vietnam War and not recognizing that I am not the contributor to that factor. It's also where we as a leader right now can speak up. We have one of the largest Afghan populations, and when we needed that help within our community, I can't tell you how appreciative I am from all the members of our community and neighboring communities to be able to raise $440,000 to welcome immigrants in recognition of how difficult it is for people to be able to make that transition. It means also when we, as the U.S. Conference of Mayors, decided to talk about what's American and standing together, recently what you saw happening in Ukraine is an outrage. And we stood as mayors to make a statement. But I also appreciate Mayor Liccardo and I stood up and asked a question at the time. When we signed that resolution, we wanted people to understand we're upset with what the Russian government is doing to the Ukrainians, not the Russian people. And that was some important delineation. And so those are the things that we can bring, whether as Americans who are growing up here or abroad, how we can bring the community together and we can strengthen one another. It's truly a situation where I've discovered, whether it's, again, as what we mentioned, I appreciate Yang for letting people know that I'm standing for state senate. But that's part of why I wanted to run, is because when you've experienced things through the schools, as a parent, as a young graduate, trying to purchase your first house and dealing with student loans, And now, even at this point now where I'm in the sandwich generation, I have elderly parents, and myself and almost qualified, I have my ARP card. So when you're looking at all that and how do you transition, each of these life experiences is what I think a lot of what we've learned about in the Asian culture. When people can cast you as the problem, and we had in the pandemic, I'm sad to say that when I first put out fact sheets, some people called me a communist, some people asked if I was a spy, some people asked if I was trying to destabilize the economy. But what we did in that moment is, rather than get mad, to show that we really are a partner. We came together, we collected supplies, we helped deliver. I know Councilmember Shao and Councilmember Kang and I, along with different agencies and community leaders, came together to deliver PPE, to deliver support. So that is what we can do. We can take the philosophies that my mom and others taught us, that one chopstick is easy to break, but a bundle is hard to break, because they are together and united. And so that's what we can do as a community. These are some of the values that we can share, and that's how we can prove that truly we are all Americans. This is not about API history, this is about American history, and we are part of the fabric that makes it so rich. So thank you for the time, and I look forward to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Lily, Mayor Lily May.